mechanical maestros have come together to try something very, very hard. Is it possible to take a tiny, well-known car from the 1960s, blow everything apart except for bits of the skin, then using said bits of skin, design and build a top-shelf today car that's fast and nimble? But it's a road car, so all that modern stuff's gotta go inside. A turbocharger, a front differential for the anticipated all-wheel drive. It's gonna be built by a race car engineer, so it'll have speed and power, but a top designer has to make sure it's drop-dead gorgeous. On top of that, it has to have factory standard 2024 level off-the-lot quality. And you're gonna make this thing from scratch? By hand? Where is this all going?
I was originally born and raised in Ecuador. My father, as a kid, wasn't, as privileged as I was. So he made it his goal and main focus in life that as soon as he was going to have a child, the first thing he was going to do was give him a dirt bike. And so I was lucky to be his first child. My father had the first heavy metal band in Ecuador in the 1980s, so he's been obsessed with heavy metal and music probably as much as I'm obsessed with cars. And then eventually ended up coming here for my last 2 years of high school in Virginia. And I was lucky enough that the high school that I went to in Virginia coincidentally had one of the best automotive programs in the nation of any high school. It was called Hilton High School. So I joined the automotive program and did some competitions. I actually ended up winning regional, states, and then nationals, which led me to UNOH. I got a scholarship to the UNOH, which is the University of Northwestern Ohio in Lima, and ended up going there for school. It was one of the few schools that you can get an actual degree in automotive-related studies. So I did the high-performance motorsports and also did automotive technology degree. So I was able to do it all within a little over 5 years, but I didn't take any summers off.
Pedro Vela is a very talented young man, and we are fortunate to have him. With the kind of mentoring that Dave is capable of giving, we expect big things out of Pedro.
Let's recap. This is episode 2 of RAZZOFAB, a car build that's a high-level challenge, even for high-level experts. If you haven't seen episode 1 yet, please do so. It explains RAZZOFAB in depth. For this episode, we want to show the level of handmade artistry the project's committed to. We're going to see how Dave Clem creates the humble but essential bushing. Dave's creating nearly everything in the car, from the simple bushings to the complex suspension uprights and 100 other things. These are some of the bushings Dave's working on for the upper front control arm. There are more bushings in the rear of the car where the engine is. Weight distribution is about 40% front, 60% rear. So here's Dave for your bushing pleasure.
We're cutting material to make this bushing for the upper rear control arm. That's the material we're going to use. The material is 4130. It's chromoly steel, so it's a very good alloy. Starts out as a solid bar. Right there is the bushing that we're going to make. And it goes on this control arm here. This is called a horizontal bandsaw. And you see it just slowly comes down and cuts through that material. So here he's just rough cutting the pieces, and then it'll go in the lathe, and he'll turn these in the lathe. The reason we cut it from that big bar is we can put this in the lathe. The big piece won't fit in the lathe, so we cut it short so makes it more manageable. One of the first things we'll do is deburring it with a file, taking the sharp edges off. It's in a lathe now, it's taking a cut off the end to make it smooth and true.
Does that process generate a lot of heat?
It does. Yeah, you'll see smoke coming off this thing. And the next thing we'll do is drill the hole in the middle. We call it a center drill. If you use a regular drill and try to drill it, it'll do like this. This is a very rigid drill, makes a center hole. Well, right now he's using what we call a live center. That thing is sticking out, so he's supporting the end of it. And when he uses a center drill, that puts a hole in there that the live center fits in. This is the live center right here. So what he's doing now is turning this diameter.
Oh wow! Damn. Like Bill's gonna be busy next week.
Here he is drilling a big hole in the center. Now this drill will get the hole a certain size, and then we have to use what they call a boring bar and go inside and get it more precise. And he's experimenting with different speeds because you don't want to go too fast, then you'll ruin the drill. But that's a good cut because it's not blue.
Looks like, you know, those sea films where you see the animal coming out of the shell. Okay.
Pedro's learned a lot here. He picks that stuff up right away. One of the challenges of this project is finding engineering drawings of the components. They didn't exist. What I had to do was generate three-dimensional models, CAD models, basically from parts books that I can move around in the small envelope that we had. For a race car, a control arm is this long. On this one, it's that long. So that offers some challenges too as far as suspension geometry.
Why is the geometry so difficult? Off the bat, going from rear wheel to four-wheel drive and keeping the wheelbase at just under 80 inches. But the main reason is the engine, the Subaru F820, adored by rally fans around the globe. Known for its maintenance-reducing dual-chain system. For drivers, the engine is durable, and for racers, it's powerful. The typical turbocharged F820 puts out an impressive 268 horsepower, which for some reason did not impress the RAZZOFAB team, so they promptly engaged the legendary shop Vermont Sports Car to jack the engine up to 400 horsepower, in all an 800% power boost over the original. The particular F820 that's going into RAZZOFAB is from a 2018 WRX. It was crashed and totaled, but the engine, transmission, and differential were intact. It's not the powertrain you'd think would easily fit in a Fiat Spider. Because RAZZOFAB is four-wheel drive, it'll have to have a front drive shaft, something the original Fiat never had. A drive shaft through a tunnel that Dave has to build from the rear of the car to the front, nearly going through the driver's pant leg. There's a ton of features that are also going to go into the car, including air conditioning, power windows and locks, sophisticated onboard electronics. So we're following two tracks, the build going on in the RAZZOFAB shop and the search for the perfect Fiat shell to put all the new stuff into. That search has led to an oxidation situation. Come to find, Fiats have rusty reputations. But then a sweet-looking Fiat was found in its home country, Italy. It was bought and it was shipped, and at that first glance it looked beautiful. But within seconds, Miles Collier entertained a doubt and suspected that the spider might be cloaked in a
poisoned apple coat of red paint.
You had to know there would be a strip search.
It was just the most rusted, nasty thing I've ever seen in my life. We get this thing here, we jack the thing up and you can't open the doors. That tells you something.
The Harlot red paint didn't just hide rust, also crash damage, nasty repair jobs, dings and chips under gallons of filler. You could smell the putty on its breath. So now, off you go to the place where they take cars when they're trying to hide something. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Would it help to say, "This will do you good"? I guess not. Well, now may not be the best time to tell you this is a harsh alkaline bath with frequent doses of electricity, and it lasts for 1 week. Yes, it looks medieval, and no one's sure how this is going to turn out. There's only so much that electrolysis can do. The harsh ablution is nearly at an end, but when all's said and done, what will emerge from this hellish baptism? What will the fiat have become? Well, we had no idea. I mean, look at you. You are the very definition of a shiny object. Let's get you back to the RAZZOFAB shop. Okay, we're up to date with the RAZZOFAB build, so using your digit, click, like, and subscribe. And join us next time. We have the whole car build in front of us. Plus, we have to meet Tim and Rick and Scott. Lots more to come.
It's a difficult damn project. It's stretching everybody to the nth degree.